So we've just woken up and it's the day that we're supposed to leave. We've had our test yesterday and waiting for results today. But unfortunately the generator's not starting and neither is the engine. And we realised that the starter battery is completely dead.
So the battery is draining by the second. It's less than 2 volts now. This 2-year-old AGM deep cycle battery has been absolutely killed. It's dropping. Just in the last half an hour, it's dropped by 0.05 volts, I think. We're just having a really horrible, frustrating time at the moment, and I kind of almost wish that we hadn't set off. I kind of wish that we kind of taken things a bit more slowly and waited, because this is just it's just not worth the stress.
You and me, we're family. The bond that we share is as deep as the sea. No matter how rough things may come to be, you and me, we're family. Sing ho, hey, long for the...
Okay, so we're going in for our tests. I'm not looking forward to this. Someone sticking something right up my nose and tickling my brain.
I don't want to get myself tested.
I'm lucky because I don't have to get tested, but everyone older than Gary has to get something stuck up their nose, and we don't. We can just watch. Then we can watch their pain. It smells like disinfectant here. So, what do you feel about getting something stuck up your nose?
I feel fantastic. Exciting.
Exciting.
Yeah, very much so.
How do you feel about going to get something stuck up your nose?
I'm a little bit apprehensive because I've never had something stuck right up my nose before. So I hope it doesn't hurt.
No, you look nervous. What did you do if you actually had coronavirus?
That would be probably even worse, because then we wouldn't be able to leave.
How do you feel? What does it feel like?
It feels like you've just got like a really hot nail stuck up your nose, and it makes your eyes water.
Dad, what do you feel right now? Dad, you're so sure.
Nervous. Just have my brain poked.
Okay, so that was the test done. Now we've got to wait 24 hours at least before we get results. So we have to wait for those results before we leave. That was not a nice experience. It's weird. It feels like someone's kind of tickling your brain. It's horrible.
So it's been a real frustrating couple of days. We've been trying to wait for our Suriname visas to come through, which should take 3 days to get processed, and it's been well over a week and we heard nothing. 3 days now, 1.5 days doing the visas for Suriname. Found out that the Foreign Affairs Department, who deals with this sort of thing, is actually not really open. But then we got in touch with the guy at the marina, and he said, well, if you turn up with all of your applications, we can take it to the nearest city and try and get your visa sorted out there. We got our COVID tests, and our COVID tests are valid for 3 days. We have to leave Gran Canaria within 3 days of having the COVID test to be valid when we arrive at another port. But in the meantime, the UK has Brexited, and so we need to fill out all these VAT forms for some boots that were sent to Barcelona, which turned up late, which meant they couldn't get forwarded on, so now they have to be sent back to the UK, get them exported from Spain back to the UK. It's just 3 days of just bureaucratic nightmare. We're trying to get away, we're trying to get across the Atlantic.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, because I also realised that our tax return in the UK was due, and I've spent a good day trying to log on to that, and I was unable to. Luckily, we have a few really good friends who have helped to keep this dream alive for the last 15 years, and now are helping to keep our home together back in England.
My name's Mo. Hi. I'm a friend of Woody and Arenka and the kids, and while they're off sailing, I'm back here at base camp helping them and supporting them while they're on their epic journey sailing around the world. Okay, so I bet you're wondering what this is here. This is a big lump of wood, you're correct, and it's a step that I've been asked to replace in their house back here on the southeast coast of England. The first step is we're going to scorch some parts of this wood, maybe the end, and help protect it when we put it in place to replace some of the steps in their front garden. So there we have it, 2 steps are installed, and I might say that's a very nice gate there at the top of the garden. I wonder who made that. Well, love to all, happy sailing, and we'll see you on the other side.
And then I had to spend about a week trying to organise an energy performance certificate, and that's been really difficult. So that is us right now in a bureaucratic nightmare trying to cross the Atlantic.
And then the day before we were supposed to leave, the electricity suddenly switched off on the boat. The fuse blew on the pod. I wasn't quite sure why, so just to keep things ticking over, I tried to turn the generator on, and the generator wouldn't work. Not even the fuel lift pump was ticking over. So then we thought we had a problem with the generator, because I'd serviced it the day before, and I figured I must have hit a wire or something. So I checked it all over, couldn't find anything wrong with it. And then I thought, well, I'll try the engine, because it might be the starter battery, and start the engine. Sure enough, nothing worked, and when I checked the starter battery, there was 2 volts coming off it, which basically was dead.
So yeah, it's annoying because we bought those batteries very recently, brand new, and now we've just killed that engine battery, which is the most important battery really. And it's annoying because, we're all ready to go, and we're sort of delayed again, unable to even start the engine even if we wanted to go, because we thought we might just go without the generator, but this is a lot more serious, so we're stuck here again.
Starter battery. I can't understand it's been on charge all this time, it's just dead. So, don't know. Now we're kind of stuck. The time's ticking. We have to leave tomorrow at the latest. We've got a dead starter battery, which I suppose we could just replace, but we can't figure out why it's not taking a charge. We could replace it with a new battery at a cost of about €200, and that one might not take a charge either, and we could kill that sort of halfway across the Atlantic. So all in all, it's a really kind of anxious and frustrating time. So we had the electrician over yesterday, and he went through everything, and he tended to think that the batteries were kind of a bit old, but the batteries were only 2 years old, so we knew that wasn't the case, and it didn't explain the drain on the batteries. Anyway, he left his charger last night, so we got the 220 volt charger to charge the battery right up, and within a few hours it just kind of plateaued at about sort of 11.6 volts or something. So the battery's pretty much goosed. It's a 250 quid Victron 110 amp hour battery, and it's gone. So we are supposed to be leaving today, and we haven't got a starter battery, so we're going to have to rush out and get one. If we don't leave within 3 days, then we have to have the COVID test done again, and at €90 a person and 6 people on the boat. That's really expensive.
So I'm heading out this morning with our friends on Peregrinus, who've been really helpful, and we're going to get in a car and try and find somewhere to buy a car battery. I just looked, and it's one of those things that most places kind of shut in this country in the afternoons and at the weekends, and definitely in the afternoons and definitely on Sundays. So it's Saturday today, so I've got a few hours, and we're going to try and find a decent new starter battery.
Okay, we think when the alternator was checked and put back, we think it might have been put in the wrong way around, or some wires were swapped over, because we suspect that the alternator is draining the battery, which either means that the diode has gone wrong, or that the wires have been swapped around and the diode is working the wrong way around, kind of narrowing it down to the diode on the prop gen alternator. To get to it, I've got to take the air filter off. I think the most frustrating thing about all of this is while we were waiting for the visas to go through, we thought we'd make use of the time and just get some more jobs done, just sort of get ahead of the maintenance curve.
So we're just doing a few extra jobs before we leave the Canaries. We've been wanting to get this on the boom for ages, but it's never been at the top of the list. So we're finally doing it now.
We did the servicing of the generator, servicing of the engine, serviced the toilets, and then after all of that, something else goes wrong. So it didn't put us any further forward, in fact it's put us further back. If we'd sailed past the islands and gone straight over to Central America or Suriname, we probably wouldn't have had these problems. It's kind of one of those things that we try to do loads of maintenance, and actually it's put us further behind than if we'd not touched it at all. It just goes to show that, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
We are off to the port police to finally check out, because the battery turns out it was okay.
We still weren't any wiser as to why the battery was draining so much, because it's only connected, or so we thought, to the engine and the generator.
And even though I went to the battery shop all the way there, got one, brought it back, and then I took it back again. But that's fine. PCR tests are negative. We're going to go and check out and go tomorrow.
We don't have coronavirus.
No, it's negative. I'm trying to find the port police. Okay, so it's one of those things that you have to do, which is try and check out of country. So you end up walking around all these kind of ports trying to find the border police, and I think it's up here. We've got a map. Is it in there, guys? But not only is Sea Shepherd here, but there's also the Greenpeace Rainbow Warrior ship as well.
I thought that was salt.
Right, out of your cage. So we finally found the harbour police, and they were not interested in check passports. They said they're fine, but obviously the English ones, they were very keen to stamp, and because of Brexit, and he pointed that out. We're going to begin to see that now as we travel around the world, and I think countries are going to be counting the days that the British citizens on our boat are going to be staying in them, like Woody. So we have been stamped out of Gran Canaria and Europe, and we can leave now tomorrow officially.
This is it. Next stop, South America.
There's a road up to here.
We finally got all of the work done, all the emergency work, and now we've just slipped our lines, leaving the pontoon.
I just want to stay here and I don't want to...
No internet for 3 weeks, maybe more.
It's also the fact that I have to walk on only that.
This will be your
3
world.
weeks.
This will be your world for 3 weeks.
A big thanks for watching, and especially thanks to our patrons who make these videos possible. If you'd like to become part of the Patreon family, then follow the link in the description below, or just put Mothership Adrift Patreon and that'll take you to the right place.
Family, sing ho, hey, along for the ride. Ho.
We would really love to hear from you. So if you'd like to leave comments, then go to our Facebook page or Instagram, or even to our Patreon
And if
page,
you wanna
where you
do
can
it,
connect to us immediately.
Do it.
Right, fine.